Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review, and reviewing back to another Disney classic film, which I enjoy. Another classic Disney film I enjoyed growing up, and right down to it, and that is of the classic 1981 Disney film, The Fox and the Hound. So yeah, The Fox and the Hound, released in 1981. I really enjoy this film, and this is one of the few Disney films that I grew up. It was actually had one of the sad moments, which some people do say that one of the sad moments in the film, but it made me feel sad growing up though, and I'll get to why. But two timeless tales of true friendship at the bottom, but it's definitely a classic, and I really enjoy this film. As we all know about the Fox and the Hound, it's about a young fox, which opens up in the countryside, where this owl named Big Mama, yeah, Big Mama, who sees a mother fox being chased. Well, because there's bark in the background, she's being hunted. She leaves her little cub behind, and as she runs off, you hear gunshots, indicating the hunter shot the mother. And Big Mama was shocked, the big shock on her face. And then she sees the little baby fox, and she, with the help of her other two bird friends, a finch and a woodpecker named Dinky and Boomer, they help the baby. Will get there's a neighbor named Widow Tweed, and finds to help find the fox and her to raise it, and names him Todd. And then he has her next door neighbor, who is a hunter named Amos Slade, with his hunting dog named Chief. He gets a little puppy named Copper. Calls him Copper, that he's gonna be the next, because Chief is a little up their age, so he gets another one to be the next hunting dog. And Amos Slade is voiced by, and you got a pretty good voice cast for this. The voice of Amos Slade is voiced by Jack Albertson from The Poseidon Adventure, and also known for playing Grandpa Joe in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He plays Amos Slade, and who voices young Copper is actually voiced by Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman from Edgar Frog from The Lost Boys, and who's been friends with Corey Haim for a long time. License to Drive. Yeah, Corey Feldman voices, and also from The Goonies and Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Yeah, so he voices young Copper in this before he got the role in, because Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, that was 84, I think, yeah. And The Goonies came out in 1985, so yeah, he played Mouth. But yeah, so he voices young Copper, and young Todd, voiced by Keith Mitchell. Now I remember most stuff that he's been in, but I mostly remember he played Brad from Adventures in Babysitting. Yeah, Brad from Adventures in Babysitting. So yeah, that came out in 1987. So Keith Mitchell voiced young Todd as well. So you got a very good voice cast so far. And also, I'm not so familiar who plays a Dinky, the yellow bird finch, the yellow finch bird. But the woodpecker named Boomer is voiced by Paul Winchell. Paul Winchell, who originally voiced Tigger before Jim Cummings voiced Tigger and later on Winnie the Pooh. But Paul Winchell, he voiced Tigger originally, which Jim Cummings, he does a really good job as voicing Tigger. He does almost like an exact duplicate of Paul Winchell, but to me, Paul Winchell will always be the original Tigger from original Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and then the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So, but yeah, Paul Winchell, because I can tell because he voiced Tigger because he does the what Tigger usually does. And these two birds are too busy trying to get this caterpillar. They're trying to get this caterpillar, but it's always escaping from them. And so with young Todd, first he gets into a little bit of trouble. Accidentally spilling the milk from Miss Tweed. Widow Tweed was trying to milk in the cow. What was it? Abigail was the cow's name. And then he meets Copper, which from then on began this wonderful friendship they develop. Is because he's a hunt dog, he's a fox, and like what Big Mama is saying is like, well, what do you know? A fox and a hound playing together, and they have that song playing. We're the best of friends. Yeah, growing up, it was a very touching matter, just the friendship between a fox and a hound, but this bothers Amos Slade, because he wants to be a hunt dog, not just to play around. But nothing could tear these two apart, but Amos Slade could. And just by the blood friendship that these two shared, and until one day when Copper was tied up because of running off too much, and then Todd disturbs Chief because his Chief smells him, and then just a funny chase where he's still attached to his doghouse, but it's a barrel he sleeps in. He's running up with the barrel still attached to him. And Amos Slade, he starts shooting at Todd. Bang, 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 bang. At a point where Todd and Dinky Boomer they hide in the mailbox, and he shoots right there with them. And then Todd sees Mrs. Tweed driving away. She sees Slade shooting at him, and then when she stops and she's all mad and just gets right in front of him, it's like this. And it says, and he goes, Amos Slade, you trigger-happy lunatic, get me that gun! It goes and shoots his car, his radiator. My radiator! And he's like, that fox was after my chickens! And Will Tweed's like, I don't believe it. He wouldn't hurt a thing. Amos Slade, you and that temper of yours is going to get you into a lot of trouble someday. Temper! The dang number woman, you're insane, my temper! And then this when Amos Slade takes Copper and Chief to hunting season, and we're not going to be back till for quite some time. And I think it's been like months, I think, and by the time both Todd and Copper have grown, and adult Todd is voiced by Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, who passed away back in 2014, may rest in peace. Which Mickey Rooney, who was a good actor, another veteran actor who is now sorely missed. Which Mickey Rooney's been in a lot of movies. I remember mainly from It's a Mad World, and then of course later starring in Night Museum. But he's been in loads of movies. But he voices Todd, and sees that Copper has come back with all the skins that they brought, and adult Copper is voiced by Kurt Russell. One of my favorite actors, Kurt Russell, of course, from John Carpenter's The Thing, Escape from New York, and just among many movies, which I've reviewed a couple, like Breakdown, Soldier, loads of movies, and recently playing Eco the Living Planet in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love Kurt Russell, and just, Big Trouble, love Big Trouble in Little China, I love that film to death, I love Escape from New York, John Carpenter is The Thing, my favorite horror film of all time. I even like Escape from LA, starting then Stargate. I love Kurt Russell. And it was cool that he voiced adult Todd in this. And then later in the night, Todd want to speak to Copper, saying that, but Copper saying you shouldn't be here, and Todd saying, we're still friends, aren't we? And Copper saying, those days are over. I'm a hunting dog now. So he better leave, but it's too late. Chief sees him, and then him and Amos Slade try hunting down. And one point leads to another. They get on top of the train tracks. When there's an oncoming train, and Todd gets out of the way, but Chief gets hit, badly injured, and Copper blames Todd for this, saying he'll get you for this. So eventually, he will eventually hunt his friend down, and because of this also that Slade charges to Tweed's house, saying that he knows that Todd's in there. He wants to get him, and Widow Tweed won't let him. But he said he can't keep him in there forever. And this gets to the point where the really sad, probably for a lot of people, when it comes to this scene here, which is very sad. To me, it did. Even to this day, I will get teary eyes from watching this scene here, where. And especially with the music playing, and I'm sure this makes a lot of people tear up for this scene. I'm sure, though. Not everybody, but even me, though, because it still gets me to this part where Widow Tweed, Todd thinks he's gonna give him a ride, but the point where she drops him off at the game preserve, takes his collar off, and you have that song that hearts. Oh, what was that song? Yeah, goodbye may seem forever. Goodbye may seem forever. That was just a very sad scene where it's just with that song playing, and she, says goodbye to him, and when she drives off crying, and just the way how just leaves Todd behind like that. That's still a very sad, teary scene right there. And right now, it still gets me right now. Even by talking about it, it's making me feel sad just talking about that scene. And I said, I'm sure it made a lot of people cry at that scene. I'm pretty sure of it. And so, and now Amos Slade sees that she got back from dropping him off. Now there's a chance. Now him and Copper has the chance to get him using some bear traps. He's gonna plant throughout the wild. And he's just trying to adapt, and poor Todd, he's just trying to adapt, trying to live in the wild now. Meets with this badger and this kind porcupine, and then comes with a Big Mama, Big Mama. There's a female fox out there named Vixie. Wants to meet Todd, and that Todd wants to make an impression what good he is because he's never been in the wild, so he doesn't know how to act like a predator, how to catch fish and all that. And then one leads to another that where now Amos Slade and Copper, they go to the game reserve, and where Todd avoids narrowly avoiding the bear traps, and eventually he has to fight his friend, showing teeth at each other, biting each other, trying, at one point where they hide in this log, where Slade's trying to smoke them out, but they go through the fire, and then when they go their separate ways, when the two get separated, they get to encounter this big, huge black bear. And it's a very dark, and it's very very dark scene. Well, how the way the bear look is very very dark looking. Like for the imagery, very dark looking. It's a huge black bear, red eyes. He takes a shot at it. He grazed it, but then his foot gets caught in a bear trap. And Copper tries to fight it, and then Todd, because, he doesn't want to leave his friend behind like that, so he comes in, tries to help, and he gets smacked by the bear, and he gets pushed on this tree branch, and then the branch snaps, and Todd and the bear, they fall down the waterfall. And then Todd, is very weak, and he just drops, and the Copper, now he feels like he feels like, because this was his friend, and he doesn't know what just happened. He almost lost his friend now. But then Slade comes up and prepares to shoot him, but Todd gets in his way, tells him not to. So he drops the gun. So he lowers his gun, walks away, and then a bit later, we're back at the Tweed's and Slade's house. Forget about Dinky and Boomer. That they finally had a chance to get the caterpillar, but then the caterpillar turns into a butterfly and flies off. And Widow Tweed's attending to Slade's broken foot. And it's another sad part though, where Copper, he remembers when they were him and Todd were young, that, Copper, you're my very best friend. You're mine too, Todd. And we'll always be friends forever, won't we? Yeah, forever. And then it ends with Todd and Bexy looking on the horizon of the farm. So, it makes me I'm getting a little more choked up, because that's another sad thing, how it ends like that. God dang. That's what I mean. This film, what I love about film is it still gets to me like this. The one sad scene where with Todd gets dropped off, left behind, and then how it ends like that. This shows how the old classic Disney films can still tug at the heartstrings, and it makes you all teary-eyed still. Because I guarantee, it's still gonna make a lot of people teary. I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So it's sad, how their friendship ended. Still thinking that they're still will be friends, but cannot, probably not see each other no more because of that. But regardless, it's still a classic Disney film. I still love this film. It has a 7.39 IMDb, has 70% Rotten Tomatoes. I guess at the time it was the most expensive animated film. At the time it cost $12 million. Because at the time it was a very expensive animated film. Did fairly well, and it's on for 83 minutes, but it's easily well paced. The voice cast does a wonderful job, like young Corey Feldman, young Keith Mitchell as Todd and Copper. They did a good job. Jack Albertson as Amos Slade, he was very good as Amos Slade. Even Jeanette Nolan as Widow Tweed, she's still defined. Sandy Duncan as Bexy too. Pearl Bailey as Big Mama, she did a really good job. Dick Beckelin as Dinky. Paul Winchell as Boomer. Tigger. Pat Buttram, which he voiced which he voiced, I think, in the Aristocats. He was the dog. He was those two dogs in the Aristocat. They're the butler. He was chased after the butler. He was the one who says, "Wait a minute, I'm the leader. I'll say when it's the end. It's the end." Yeah, then he was the same. He was the same voice of the guy, Pat Burnham, who voiced the chief in this film. And of course, Kurt Russell and Mickey Rooney as adult Todd and Copper. They did a really great job. I said I love Kurt Russell. Mickey Rooney, may rest in peace. They both did a wonderful job as Todd and Copper. The score I enjoy, especially especially the two sad scenes, like I said, when Todd got left behind with Goodbye, maybe Forever, and how the film ended like that with that sad narration of young Todd and Copper. So, and this is a 2-disc. This also comes with the first film and the second film. So if I ever read the first one, I'm going to review the second film. So I'll review this film next. For the features for the first film has which is the 30th anniversary edition. There's Passing the Baton, The Making of the Fox and the Hound featurette, and The Best of Friends sing-along song. So, but yeah, I love this film still. It's definitely a classic still, a Disney classic. So what more I can say. How the tales of the friendship between a fox and a hound, and eventually how it ends. Sad. But still, it's like I said, it's still, to me, it still gets me teary. And I'm not afraid to admit it, so. But yeah, this is the 30th anniversary of the first film, The Fox and the Hound. Still Disney classic, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if anyone wants to see this film, please, I advise to check it out. I recommend it. So that's my review of the first one, Fox and the Hound, and now next up is the review of the second film, Fox and the Hound 2, released in 2006. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the second film. Later.